Pedro's Tardes Gunners Collective TV. Back at it? You already know. Like a motherfucking smack addict. Bye. Look, we're going to get straight into the content. You already know, man. I appreciate and I'm very humbled, man. Thank you guys for all the support. Hit that like and subscribe button thing. And that way you're notified. Because a lot of people haven't been getting notified, man. And I want you guys to be notified so that way you're notified of the dope content that I am kicking. Thank you. So, I seen a video earlier today dropped by Dubs, right? And I gave him a quick phone call, man. I wanted to find out exactly what it was with Lefty Gunplay being open. And this is open for interpretation, right? Being open to possibly making music with Northerners, right? With Nortenos. I hate to give the label, I've said it before, Norteño rappers, Southern rappers, they're all just rappers to me, right? But they're brown and the streets do mix with music nowadays. And so there is a big discrepancy when it comes to Sureños and Norteños or Northsiders and Southsiders working together, right? To put out dope music. It's never happened before. Will it ever happen? I don't know. This is probably the closest we've ever been to making something happen, you know, as far as that goes. But Lefty Gunplay, you know, a few months back, when he was first interviewed, when he first started to get it popping, started to get that buzz, he was asked if he was going to do any music with Norteños, if he was open for it. You know, and I think the interviewer asked him these questions just based on the fact that he had just got out of prison, just got out of Pelican Bay, and was there during the end of hostilities time, meaning that he functioned on yards with Norteños. He knows what it is to be around Northerners. You know, there are rappers that have never been around Northerners and vice versa, excuse me, because I got checked on that one, right? Vice versa. And they'll whoop that high power shit. I'll never fuck with them vatos. And I understand. They're indoctrinated a certain way. They hate the opposition. And that's cool. That's fine and dandy. But at the end of the day, when you've done time amongst the other side, like I have and other people have, you gain a whole bunch of respect. You realize that all that propaganda that's being fed on the internet and that you've been told in the past about guerra and that North and South is always at war, that's unicorn shit. You're more liable to see a unicorn on the yard than to see Norteños and Southsiders getting off. This ain't the 80s or the early 90s anymore. This ain't on site, green lights, red lights. This ain't none of that. Nowadays, vatos have a whole level of respect towards one another and everybody's down to get off. You know, and people recognize that. You know, now, look, let me take it way back before we get into Lefty. Way back in the days, Norteños only functioned on certain yards. Okay, because Southsiders had the numbers. They were the deepest. They were on every fucking yard. So Northerners only went to certain places. Okay, what happened was the Bulldogs broke off from the Northerners. True story. When the Bulldogs broke off from the Northerners, there was a red light by the Southsiders put on the Bulldogs, meaning that they were able to function on yards together because they had a common opposition, a common enemy, right? But the Bulldogs were just trying to establish and maintain on these yards, and they didn't want to take into the philosophies or the directives of the Southsiders. They basically wanted to be their own entity, their own group, but function on them yards. And eventually the Southsiders said, Charlie, homie, we're not going to allow that to happen. Basically, what the Southsiders were doing was trying to utilize the Bulldogs to get off on the Northerners so that way they didn't have to get their hands dirty. Let these two groups kill each other and everything's good, right? So with that, the Norteños were also put on a red light, meaning that, hey, there was no pleito. This was the first end of hostilities that not anyone really knows about, right? And so Norteños started to be pushed to different yards and started to, you know, gain numbers in certain yards. And there was a level of respect there. So North and South have always been respectful with each other. And when it's time to get off, it's time to get off. A lot of people don't push that narrative. They don't say that. You know, people are of the understanding these guys are worst enemies. It's on all the time on site. But it's not like that. It varies from yard to yard, place to place. Whoever has the yard will make that fucking call. That's a fact, right? So when I done time, there was no end of hostilities. You know, we knew at any given time it could pop off for whatever reason. So we were always leery and always aware of where the Sureños were at, what they were doing. If they were grouping up, having juntas, then we'd get at each other and make sure that we were ready, strapped up. We were on them yards strapped up, ready at all times. And they were too. Don't get it fucked up. They were definitely ready at all times. But there was never anything that popped off. Like I've told people before, I've seen more Southsiders get off with whites than anything, and South and blacks. and even North and whites and North and blacks, but never North and South. You know, I was asked yesterday in a live, how many times did you fight a Southsider in prison? And you want to know what my answer was? Donut. 0. Never. Never fought with a Southsider in prison. Not in this state. In other states, yes, where I've done time. But in the state of California, well, I'm not in the state of California, but you know what I mean. In the state of California, 0. Right? Never fought with them. There was never no tension. Never nada. There was one incident in the oil where the doors popped and Vatos didn't practice the open door policy and they got off on each other. But that was that. That was pretty much swept under the rug, killed right there on site, and that was it. Both the individuals did what they had to do. The placas fucked up and popped the doors, and they pulled out pieces and got to whacking each other, right? And again, that was what you're supposed to do. So it wasn't like someone went out of their way to book someone and run up in their cell. It was nothing like that. Both these Vatos came out, ran at each other, and got off. So it's not like that movie Shot Caller. Well, you know, in Shot Caller, when you see the white guy get off with the Norteño and run up on him, yes, that's what happens when you come in close proximity in the holes in the shoes, things like that. But on the yard, it's a different story, whole different game. So, being that Lefty Gunplay functioned with Norteños, you would think he would have a level of respect for them because he's been on the yard. But when he was first interviewed, when he first started to get his buzz, he said, Chale, hell no. I'm not going up north. Fuck what them fools are talking about. I mean, he had a lot to say. And I think it was someone that was around him that was poisoning his mind and telling him that's what everybody wanted to hear, homie. That's what the Southern raza wanted to hear. But most of the Southern raza ain't even tripping. They're like, we ain't tripping off them Vatos. Them Vatos are 7.5 hours away, bro. Let them do them. We'll do us, right? That's how that was. But for whatever reason, he decided to disrespect Norteños, and it started a long line of beef and back and forth songs. A Norteño actually pulled up to his neighborhood and did a video. I mean, que la chingada. It just kept going, right? So, just recently, you know, Lefty's been seen around a producer, a guy named Hit, the Hitmaker, right? And this guy's produced songs for Akon, several other individuals, and he's a real one. From everything I've seen and I've heard, you know, he's a sangre, he's a blood, he represents his shit, and he's well known in the streets and well respected. And Lefty interacting with this brother right here, man, throws me for a loop because I understand, and look, before we get that out the way, brothers like Lefty. I've talked to a lot of brothers, man. I fuck with a lot of them, black and brown. I push that movement. I've talked to a lot of blacks. They support Lefty. They like Lefty Gunplay. Okay, for whatever reason. I know there's a lot of people out there that say he can't rap worth shit. He's all drugged out. Whatever you want to say. You know, at the end of the day, man, respect the fact that he's pushing. You know, you don't have to like him, but you definitely don't have to hate him. You know, don't do the haterism, because the haterism just makes you look bad. It really does, right? If you don't like a Vato, you don't discuss a Vato. And that's just it, straight up. You just be like, I'm going to wash my hands of this shit. But anyways, a lot of brothers have told me that they fuck with him. And this guy fucks with Lefty. And so this guy brought up a question and asked Lefty if Lefty was willing to work with Norteños, to work with Vatos from Northern California. So let's get this out the way. Let's be real. Norteño rappers, or rappers that are labeled Norteño rappers, they go, homie. Right? I know a lot of Vatos from down south don't like them just because they're from up north. But let's be honest here. In the rap game, they've always went. They go. You know, that affiliation, that close association with the brothers, man, got a lot of Vatos confused on if those are Mexicans or blacks, right? And I know that they've been disrespected a lot and called mayateros and called this and all that. But at the end of the day, and people belittle them because they think they act black. However you want to put it and twist it, Norteño rappers, they go. Not all of them. There's some that can't rap a lick. But for the most part, the ones that I listen to, they go. Just like a lot of Southern California rappers go. What I'm noticing now is a lot of the Southern California rappers or rappers from down south are starting to adapt to that new style and that new flow. Whereas the Norteños, I think, were already doing that for a while. Ain't nothing wrong with it, man. Hip hop is hip hop. Music is music. People like certain flavors. So there's no more that if you should lose me, oldie beats. You know, that's a thing of the past. That's that Chicano rap. That is played out. That's not what these youngsters want to listen to. These Edgars want to listen to some fucking, and not up the pole on my ops, right? That's how they are. So everyone's going to conform to that and rap and to what people want to hear because they're trying to make a bag and sell music, right? So when Lefty was asked by this guy Hit if he was willing to do a collaboration or music with rappers from up north, he actually thought for a little while. He thought about it. And from what I'm seeing and hearing, he's open for discussion. You know, sometimes when you first come out and you're indoctrinated a certain way and you're told a certain thing, you got poisonous people around you, then you're going to fucking be like, fuck this, homie. I'm standing strong for my water, for my set, for my blue team, for whatever. And then when you start getting money and you realize, man, I fucked off a whole fan base. I could have did it like Burner or Baby Batch or several of these other Chicanos that are for everybody. They make music for everybody, regardless of what city they live in or where their area, right? They're not a regional sound. They're a world sound, you know? And I know Lefty wants to go worldwide. He wants worldwide play. That's obvious. Is he capable or able to do that? Well, he's already doing tours in Texas, Arizona, New Mexico. He's been to New York. So he's definitely making power moves wearing shower shoes, trying to pull hoes and strippers wearing Gucci slippers. But in order to continue to wear Gucci slippers, you have to get the bag and make money. And if you're just for a certain element or a certain fan base, you're never going to make the giant bag. Big time labels are going to fuck with you to a certain level, but they're going to put you on the shelf. See, people say, oh man, Lefty signed a big deal with this and or these guys signed a big deal with that. But you could sign a big deal and then get put on the shelf forever. And that's it. You know, a lot of these big time producers, a lot of these big time record labels, they're scared of the rap beefs, the gang beefs, all that. They don't want that. They just want to make good music, #1 hits, and a bag. You know, when the streets come into the booth, it gets ugly fast. And I think Lefty's realizing that. So Lefty's decided that if for no other reason, he's open for maybe a conversation. Well, this guy Hit actually got out of Norteno. Now, he didn't say the Northerner's name, but he alluded to this guy being a boss in his area. He alluded to this guy being a well-known rapper, being someone who's making noise in the industry, and said that guy, when he got at him, said that yes, he was willing to do music with Lefty Gunplay, or he was at least willing to talk to him. Now, I've always said this, that if North and South came together in prison, they'd run the whole show. I've also said that if they came together on the streets or even in rap music, they definitely would have opportunities, way more opportunities than they've ever had. And it would change the game as far as Mexicanos and Chicanos in the industry. And it would change hip hop. Because now a lot of these guys that work with one side or the other side would all be willing to work together. And when you work together, you make more noise. When you make more noise, you get more attention. When you get more attention, you get more money. Okay, you're not just making $150. Now you're making 150 million bucks. You know, and if it ain't chulada, it ain't about nada. Shout out to them. I'm trying to get endorsed. I'm just saying, this is how it is, right? But for Lefty to double back and say, you know what? Maybe. That's a big deal. It's a big thing because I truly, honestly believe, and I've had my qualms about Lefty Gunplay in the past. I've said fuck him in the past, right? I've always liked him, but I felt like his music was caca, right? But he's getting better. He's getting much better. And every song I hear, I mean, he cut the auto-tune out. You don't need the auto-tune. You know, blame it on the juice. They got you getting loose. You ain't T-Pain. But he's definitely putting his rhymes together. I don't know if he has a ghostwriter now or if he's actually paying attention to what's going on, but he's learning. And that's what guys do. They learn. Now, people ask, why is Lefty so popular, bro? What is it about him? He can't rap worth shit. What is it? The look. The resume. Where he's been. Who's behind him. The push. These are all the things you need to be the complete package. If his rhyming skills get up to par as good as I know he can get them, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. That's the truth. You know, there's a lot of Northerners, Norteño rappers that already got the lyrics down. They stay on beat. They fucking got wordplay. They don't get the push like this Volta. They don't got the push because Northern California is smaller areas. And they just haven't been discovered as someone in LA or the Los Angeles area would be and get a bigger push, right? That doesn't mean they're any less than or they can't do it because they definitely fuck with it. And there have been Norteño rappers in the past that have blown up and went worldwide like Darkroom Familia, Woody, several others, right? But it's a big deal for Lefty Gunplay to double back and now say, hey, Holmes, maybe, just maybe. And I believe he could be the one to cross over and really make some noise. If North and South could get it together, even lyrically, and just rap, that's a big step in other changes throughout California, right? Now, I know Lefty's disrespected in the past, and I know people like Lazy Boy bands and these guys are feeling some type of way because you just can't say fuck Northern California or fuck this or that and then get away with it and be expected to be embraced because you changed your mind. That's not the way it works. See, in the game, you don't change your mind, bro. When you change your mind, Vatos are going to try to change your headpiece, right? That's just how it is. But if anyone can get it together and see, everybody's after that bag. A lot of people are after clout, more are after that bag, right? And if someone that has respect, like that Vato hit, can get two different groups together and sit down and at least discuss some things and maybe quite possibly make a compilation or do some things, then why not? I mean, we see, what is that, the Cypher. This Cypher that's coming out, GB is going to participate. Lazy Boy is participating. Several other rappers. And then, of course, Lefty Gunplay. I think it's Thizzler, right? Is it Thizzler or I think it's Thizzler. And even Lefty Gunplay is participating. That is the first step in at least being on some type of platform or something where Nortenos are on too. He took that step, right? There's other rappers like Swifty Blue who have lately been saying he represents the southern side, respects to the other side. Even though just a couple weeks ago he disrespected, that about to disrespected everyone. He's all over the place with it, right? But I like him. You know, I think Swifty's another good rapper from Southern California. He goes, good rapper, period, in the game. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. Do you think Lefty Gunplay is trolling and he's just telling that Vato, that black Vato, what he wants to hear? Or do you think he's really, really willing to go to Northern California and make some moves, or to have some Northerners pull up and make some moves with him? I'm going to tell you this. You know, I seen the look in his eye when he was being interviewed. I think it was Kev or Cam Capone or one of those shows, respects to them platforms. And he said he couldn't stand Northerners pulling up down south. That it fucking, it hurt his it hurt his heart. Like he said it irked him. He couldn't stand it. And I didn't understand that because I was like, bro, you were functioning on the yards with them. How? Then every day you must have been fucking, your butthole must have been clenched because you were bitter, not better. I think Lefty is realizing now in the game he's in, fuck the regional sound. Fuck the putting yourself in a box. Fuck trying to fight yourself out of a wet paper bag, homes, and only having a certain element of people listening to you. Hey, let's go fuck them all. Like the bull up on the mountain. There's money for everything. And there's money everywhere. And let me tell you, if Lefty was able to do a collaboration with a well-known Northerner, and of course, this guy Hit is saying it's a boss. And I could sit here and I could think about people who are bosses in their section, who are making the most noise in their section. I know at this point right now, Lazy Boy is definitely the voice out in San Jose for the rap scene. I know, Tone is definitely a beast in the booth up at Antioch. And there's several others. GB is definitely the representative for the town, Merced. Right? You already know what it is. He knows what I mean when I say that, right? Or when I do that. Only those from that area know. It's our own special code. We used to see cow. You know what I mean? We're on it. So anyways, 7:30. That shit don't never stop. I will say this though. Just me thinking about it, I'm thinking GB or quite possibly Lazy. Now it's someone that they said that this guy, according to this guy, was someone that Lefty had beef with or had some difference of opinion with. And the only one I could think of was Lazy Boy. Now, I'm just going out on a limb and theorizing, right? Don't take it as Lazy's down to do it because I don't know. But whatever Northerner this guy Hit talked to, he definitely said he was open for talks and was willing to do a song with Lefty. So we'll see what it is, man. I don't know. You know, could we see some fucking differences on the horizon? Can we see Lefty Gunplay doubling back and saying, you know what, maybe I can go up north. Maybe I can fuck with them. You know? Quite possibly. You know, is it such a big deal? To the average person, no. But to guys who really been through the guerra, through the wars, have really fought since I was a kid with the South Side, I could tell you, man, that's a big fucking deal. Just like the end of hostilities was a big deal. I never thought I'd see it. And I've never thought I'd see North and South on a collaboration or a compilation together in the rap game. But man, it'd be a beautiful thing for the brown people. With that being said, I'll that you move smooth with a purpose. Get everything that you want coming. And remember, at the end of the day, it's all up to Lefty Gunplay and to the North. We'll see how they sort it all out, man. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. Hey, look, there's a bitter ass vato. I don't even say his name anymore, man. He's going to be all, no, Lefty, no, don't do it, Holmes. Them vatos, they're nah. Hey, save that shit. You know what I mean? Let this little youngster do what he does, man. And make bread, homie. And you keep fucking working as a fucking construction guy. Bang, bang.